This episode of Rookie Hunter is brought to you by the Wild Sheep Foundation. Become a member, join the Lesson 1 Club, and attend their annual convention, Sheep Show, Reno, Nevada in 2020. For more information, go to wildsheepfoundation.org. Hey guys, welcome to episode 113 of Rookie Hunter. Today on the show, Kelly and I are hanging out in the studio. We'll be talking some August hunting opportunities and some of the stuff we got coming up. Of course, our sheep hunt is only 15 days away, so that's obviously going to get into the conversation. One piece of gear that's going to be joining me on our sheep hunt is the Sitka Core Heavyweight Hoodie. Once we get into those cooler temperatures in spring, fall, winter, I pretty much don't take this hoodie off. If you'd like to check it out, all of our other Sitka gear, it is up on our website, therookihunter.com. Just click on the gear tab. And I hope most of you have become a member of the Wild Sheep Foundation. If it wasn't for them, we probably wouldn't be going on this sheep hunt, so we appreciate their support, and we would appreciate it if you supported them in return. You can become a member at wildsheepfoundation.org. You can join the Lesson 1 Club for just $25, and you can attend the annual convention Sheep Show in Reno, Nevada. We'll be there probably for the remainder of our lives, so we'll be there in 2020. Hope to see some of you guys. Again, wildsheepfoundation.org. Now's the time to get yourself a blade for the upcoming hunting season. You can get one from our longtime sponsors, North Arm Knives. Go to northarmknives.com. My favorite is the mallet and trout knife. That's going to be in my backpack all season long. BC listeners, listen up. BC backcountry hunters and anglers need some help. Things are moving quickly up here for BHA, and they need some team members. So they're looking for someone to help with social media strategy for Instagram and Facebook, graphic designers, sponsorship, relationship management, and event planning. So all they're looking for is commitments of 1 to 2 hours per week. You can probably squeeze that in. I'm sure you got some time. If you're interested in getting involved with the BC backcountry hunters and anglers, you can send them a message on Instagram, and the handle is at backcountryhunters BC. Give them a hand, help out, get involved with a great organization. Let's get into this episode. Sit back, relax, crack a nice cold beer, and enjoy episode 113 with me and Kelly. Down if you want. It's right in your eye.
Right eye Lopez over here.
Mr. Mullner.
How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Maybe if I don't slouch so much. There you go.
There you go. I can see your beautiful eyes.
Slouchy back here.
Yeah. What's on tap, Callie? This is juicy.
Juicy AF.
What does AF stand for?
As fuck, I think. Okay. India Pale Ale. And it's from Boombox Brewing Company, which I'm a bit confused because it says brewed at Parallel 49 Brewing. So I don't know if this is a collaboration or if Boombox is like a sub of Parallel. Or
they brew it of their facilities. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Ingredients: water, malt, oat flakes, hops, and yeast.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a fan of IPAs, I would say this is a little more on the hoppier side, but it is very good.
Yeah, I like it, man. It's
spiffy too.
It's refreshing. It's not, sometimes with IPAs, they can be a bit much for me, anyway. Sometimes This one I quite like.
Yeah, it is on the stronger side. It's a 7.5 percent. I don't think it has the IBUs on the side, although I'd be interested in that.
Yeah, me too.
I think it's probably higher than, what was my number before? 30 or 40.
Yeah.
I want to say around there. I have a feeling it's a little higher than that. But I like the can too. Very catchy.
Very catchy. I like it. Hey, Callie, guess what tomorrow is?
2 days before August long weekend.
I guess that isn't wrong. Tomorrow is August 1st. Do you know what that means, Kelly?
We've got
Stringing you
like
along.
2 weeks basically before we leave.
That's also true. What I'm getting at here, Kelly, is that Snowshoe Hare opens tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
I think. Pretty sure. And
We'll go with it.
we'll go with it. We'll check. Don't worry. But
I'll check right
I
now.
am super excited. I love going out for hare.
Yeah, we should get the 22 out.
Yeah, we should for sure. And I think we should get the bikes out. Can your bike handle? Yeah, it's pretty.
It can.
low key.
I don't know if we've talked about it, but I bought a cyclocross bike, and it's got, I want to say 35s on it, 35 millimeter tires.
Yep.
Knobbies. I think that'd be great up there on the KVR.
Yeah, I think so. So we should do that. So I don't know. Hares it probably varies depending on region and species and stuff like that. But
It is open tomorrow.
yeah, I thought so. I always things come out of my mouth like, I probably should have double checked or triple checked before I said that, but I was quite certain about it. Anyways, man, I know lots of people have different methods for hunting hares, which include like having people, basically scare them out of brush, and then there's a hunter ready on the other side, kind of thing, and they scatter that way. But everybody knows that our preference isn't really to road hunt. With snowshoe hare, the best way to do it around here is to cruise some of the bike trails and stuff that are higher elevation stuff. There seems to be, I don't know what elevation, but it seems like there's a line where snowshoe hare don't really come below. And we have a very specific area. I'm not going to give it away.
Do you think that's related to a vegetation that grows at certain elevations, or is it more temperature?
It could be
based?
temperature, man. I think they probably just like it a little bit cooler up top
that's probably
there.
right.
So I found that around here anyways, that basically it seems like after 9:30, nothing happens. So there's lots of action before 9:30 in the morning. And then after that, once it starts to warm up and the sun's been up for a while, they just seem to disappear and hide out where it's cool inside of the brush and that. And then on the flip side of that,
Like
as soon as you
twilight.
get into dusk, then they're out again.
It's like fishing.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we've had a lot of success up there, and it's I don't want to jinx it. I'll knock on wood, but it seems like it's almost a guarantee for us to go up there and get 2 or 3 hares, and there's a lot of meat on some of those guys, man. So
Yeah, I actually have one vacuum sealed
Oh, do
from
you?
last season.
you got to eat that, son.
Yeah, but I want to get 2 or 3 of them and do like cook them all together.
Yeah.
That was the plan.
I've always done beer braised hare, and it's always been fucking top notch.
Yeah, I haven't had a lot of luck with them, to be honest.
No.
In terms of, but yeah,
I
maybe,
should have got it open here. It's in my notes somewhere. I wrote down everything that I've done for like my most successful beer braised hare, and it's just like fall off the bone, super tender, and
Nice.
so good, man.
Yes.
And Ashley loves it, which for me is always like if I get approval from her, then I've done it right
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
that type of game anyway. So
Yeah, with folks that aren't super familiar with wild game, or like they don't eat it a lot, and then they're like, "Oh, this is unreal." Then
Yeah.
you did something right.
well, it's got the rodent component to it as well, right? So it's like
True.
wild rabbit, and also the cute component because they're pretty
Yeah.
cute. But yeah, anyways, man, I'm really excited to go out and do that. So maybe, maybe even this weekend we should go just get up early, bring the bikes up,
Yeah.
and go for a rip.
You know what we should do? This is a full day thing, or at least beginning and end. But kind of feel like getting up early, getting a limit of kokanee, and then going to twilight, and then like doing a surf and turf.
Yeah,
And to be able to cook that stuff the same day would be pretty cool. Because you could get a lot of food. Like you get 5 kokanee each,
Yeah.
and then you get a couple rabbit each, and you do that day, the catch of the day. That'd be
yeah.
cool. It's a lot of work.
Yeah,
I'm just dreaming.
streaming. I think we could probably at least get the fish and the rabbit one day. Cooking it in one day it's a bit of a stretch, Cal.
It is.
Get the girls to fire up the smoker,
Yep.
and we'll eat it
Smoker.
12
yeah.
at night or 11.
Yep. Are you thinking smoked rabbit?
Well, I was thinking the fish anyways. And
Yeah.
the braising the hares takes quite a while. It's a bit of an ordeal.
Yeah.
We could try smoking some hare. That would probably be good, man. Brine it and do it that way.
Yep. Cool. Yeah, I totally forgot about Snowshoe Hare opening in August.
Oh, I didn't forget. I love it.
Yeah, I do. I love hunting those. You know what's funny though? Like, having said it's great to do it hiking and on a bike, I think the most successful way to do it is with the loudest vehicle possible, because there's something about that vehicle.
Oh, it makes them scramble. It gets them curious, one, and then it sort of draws them out, and you can see them. They run around like morons, basically back and forth across the FSR, and then it's pretty. And we take some pretty long shots on them too, which is kind of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're a drummer. You know what you should do? You still have your cymbals lying around?
Oh, yeah. Just crash them together and drive down the road.
Because I think noise actually helps with hare hunting.
Oh, yeah. We've like blasted Red Hot Chili Peppers and going down the road. It's kind of funny that way, but I think we should try the bikes and just...
it's a cool... Yeah, if you have the area to do that, I think it's cool to...
That's an easy ride too. It's nice.
On
Absolutely. We can leave the truck at the sort of summit of where we're going. Right? Yeah, and then have a cooler full of ice because you want to get those guys cooled off as fast as possible. Right. But yeah. Anyways, man, let's do that this weekend.
Cool.
Got nothing better to do.
I don't think I was sitting in front of this. There.
What else? What else we got to look forward to? We've been talking about I don't know if people get tired of this, but I feel like people actually love the gear conversations we've been doing. We had not our last phone call, but more or less our, how's everybody doing? Check in. What do we need for gear? Everyone having what they need? Gas for stoves was something that came up, and it's always that like, do I have enough? Should I bring more? How much is too much? You don't want to be unprepared. So you've been doing a bit of research on that.
Yeah. So there's a couple things that help you in terms of gas consumption, and there's a few things that work against you, right? So elevation actually helps you because water boils quicker as you go up.
Right. I was actually thinking of it the other way around.
Yeah.
I didn't think it burned as well at higher elevation.
That's possible. Although it takes less energy to boil water at higher elevation. Maybe it balances out. I don't know.
It's the same. No, I don't know. Anyways, I'll shut up.
Well, I just mean water itself.
Yeah.
If you had just, a normal stove sitting at the top of a mountain, it would be quicker to boil the water up there.
I get you.
But potential good weather, that'll help us. It is August, but as we know, temperatures are going to be potentially 5 degrees or lower at certain times of the day. But we'll see what happens. I've also heard stories of people dunking themselves in creeks because it's just smoking hot up there. Yeah. So,
I've heard people, gone from 25 degrees one day to snow the next day.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
We got to prepare for everything, which makes packing difficult.
Boil only meals. I think we're all going with the, you boil your water, you throw it in the Heather's Choice bag or whatever, and then you just close it up, and that's cooking, right?
Yeah. So I'll come back. Sorry, I was going to derail you. Go ahead.
So that's an advantage in terms of fuel consumption.
Yeah.
What hurts us is potential bad weather, cold water sources. So if you're, melting snow and boiling from that, it's going to take a little more. Wind is the big one.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have a good wind cover. And then the stove type too. Obviously there's variation between stove types. I think a lot of the pocket rockets, if you don't have good windscreens, then you can potentially burn a lot of fuel, 3 to 4 times more.
I've got the Soto Mini. It's got actually a little insert for wind, but I'm always making sure that I try and I have to build put some rocks around it or whatever, or get it out of the wind because it's less efficient than what you guys have.
Yeah, just as long as you're smart about it, I think that's you can mitigate that for sure.
Yeah.
So what I kind of did was just figured out, how many days are we going to be out there? How many times am I boiling water for meals and drinks? And for meals, I went with we're out there for 10 days, but I just said 12. So 12 meals times 2, breakfast, dinner. And then I said 2 hot drinks a day. I could survive with less than that, but I'm always there's buffers upon buffers upon buffers on this analysis.
Yeah, man.
So I ended up with, if I flip that into liters of water, so, with a mountain house, I think you need about 500 milliliters of water to throw in there. The advantage of something like Heather's Choice is you actually only need like 300 milliliters of water.
Yeah.
So in terms of volume of water boiled with Heather's Choice, you don't need as much. I just rounded up to 500 milliliters. And then for drinks, like, I don't know, 350. And then summed all that up. So I figured I'm boiling about 20 liters of water, which is going to need about 10 ounces of fuel minimum. So I went on MSR's website, and they have a lot of good resources in terms of certain stoves and how many liters of water they boil per ounce of fuel. I don't have an MSR stove. I have a Jetboil, but Jetboil didn't have that information.
Okay.
And through all, like MSR has a number of different stoves, and I just kind of averaged them all out. Most of them are between 1.5 liters per ounce to 2.5 liters per ounce if you have like a super high powered one. So I just said, average is probably 2 liters per ounce. So that's 10 ounces of fuel, which is about 283 grams. That's a little more than one of those medium-sized canisters.
Okay.
So what I'm thinking is I'm going to bring 2 of those medium-sized canisters at the 230 grams. As opposed to 1 450, because I don't want to throw all my eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
If that 450, like if the nozzle breaks or something, then I'm hooped. I guess if you want to go super safe, you could take a 450 and a 230.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's necessary. And I've talked to a few other folks just recently, and I think they eat a little bit lighter than us, but they were kind of on I bring 2 of the 100s. That seems a little light for me, considering I'm doing two boiling meals a day.
Yeah.
So, I personally think I'm going to be okay with the 230 gram times 2, but interested in folks' feedback.
Yeah. I didn't have any knowledge to back it up, but my gut told me 2 of the 230s would be enough, because last time we went on an extended trip, I brought a 230 and is it a 450, the bigger one?
Yeah.
And I only just got through the 230 towards the end. I think I just like slightly dipped into the 450 by the end of that trip. That was our last trip up north. So
yeah. I mean, it's better to come back with extra than to run out.
Yeah.
That's always kind of in the back of your head.
Mm-hmm.
But it's
Better.
Weight, right? Like it's just a weight thing. You don't want to take extra stuff.
I feel pretty confident with 230s, and we'll sort of do a recap when we get back. Determine how much we came back with, if any. So
yeah,
it'll be interesting to see.
MSR has a good article that one of the key points that I had was low temperatures, melting snow, wind. Like all those things can end up meaning that you need 3 to 4 times as much fuel as you thought you did.
Yeah.
Jetboil has those little charts on the side of their cans that say like you can get 50 boils out of this, but that's probably in a controlled setting.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
so that's the other thing that's nice about, we're not always gonna, I think for the most part, we're gonna be able to cook at camp, and we've got the Kadam 3 GT, which has a massive vestibule. Mm-hmm. So we can cook inside there. So that sort of removes all those extra elements that we might have to deal with. And it's not advised to have those burning in a enclosed space, but you can crack the door a little bit and stuff too, right? And still be out of the elements and the wind and all that. So I imagine that that thing is big enough for the 3 of us to kind of sit in there cross-legged, and all 3 of us be able to cook our breakfast if we wanted to.
Yeah, we're pretty lucky to have that tent. That's for sure. Like Lander said, you do have to be careful about that, because once it starts impacting you, it's too late almost. Right?
Yeah.
But I think too, like it depends which way the wind's going. You can run it with one of the doors open.
Oh yeah, and we can have the vent and stuff open. But I remember Aaron Snyder telling us he'll fire up the stove just to warm it up in there a little bit. So not advised. Be cautious with that one. And if you die from it, you didn't hear it here. So
you raised an interesting question though, right at the start, because water boils easier at high altitudes, but if your equipment functions less effectively at high altitudes, and I wonder where that actually lands.
I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah. That's not something we'll figure out.
No. Anything else to add to the stove side of things?
No, I think that's it. I think I'm going with 230s.
Yeah, me too. I feel pretty confident in that just based off of our last big trip. So I think we'll be good. Famous last words. I got five dinners, 5 breakfasts, and a whole bunch of packaroons from Heather's Choice.
I did the same.
You did the same.
Except I have one extra dinner, I think.
Oh, do you? Nice. So I'm gonna sort of make up the remainder with. I'm gonna continue to do my own stuff. I have to get on that actually. So I have to do 5 more plus have some extra food for that extra. There's a possibility that due to weather we could be stuck for a day, 2 days. So we want to have extra food with us. So I'm gonna make those meals. But Heather was saying that you can use those vacuum seal bags. We both have vacuum sealers. So if you do plan to make your own meal, you can use those bags and they will hold water, hot water.
Boiling water?
Yep.
Nice.
Yep. Which we had.
So you can seal them up and then just cut them open and you're good.
Yeah. Yeah. And so basically you pour the boiling water in there and I don't know, maybe bring a clip with you or something like that. So you can roll up the bag, put the clip on there and let it sit for a while. So
cool.
Yeah. Because we had talked about that a while back. It's like there must be some bags that you can buy for homemade backpacking meals and that. But so I'll give that a go. I'm going to try it before we go and just come up with a good method of doing it so I'm not fucking around when we're out there. And there's actually bags. I wish I had written this down, but bags that you can put your backpacking meal inside of as an insulator, and it'll actually help it stand up too. So if you have a flimsy bag that won't stand up on its own, you put it inside of there, it'll keep it warm. It'll help it heat up faster or keep it warm longer, I should say. And that was another tip from Heather. I wrote it down somewhere, but anyways, I'll try to remember what that was for last time.
Cool.
Or for next episode.
On the food,
IPA's hitting me.
Yeah, on the food subject, I tossed my old spoon.
I got to get a new spoon. What are you getting?
So I had I can't remember what it was now. I want to say it's a Soto. I think it was a Soto, but it's titanium and it wasn't super long. I want to say 6 or 7 inches, somewhere around there. And it folded in half. So the bottom half was titanium and then you fold the other half up and it was more of like, I don't know how to explain it. Anyways, the handle was more stainless steel. And then there's this clip that you like push down so that it didn't fold in on you.
I've got a plastic one. That's same idea.
Right. So like every time, but it didn't work. Like it always just folds in on you and it's not long enough to begin with. So your hand's going into the bag. Yeah. So I still have that one, but I ended up ordering a different one that I believe is made by GSI, but it's just a really long spoon.
Yeah.
And I just said like, before I was shopping for a spork. That's why I bought the other one.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, I don't even care if it has pointies on the end.
No, we got a fucking knife in her.
Yeah. Like all these things are bagged meals anyway. So I just bought a spoon that was really long. It's I swear it's like 10 or 11 inches long. And it's all titanium. It weighs the same amount as the other one does. They're not like the cheapest things in the world. I can't remember how much it was. 15, 20 bucks, maybe $15.
Cool.
But yeah, I'm pumped about that thing. It'll keep my hands clean.
Yeah, apparently Sea to Summit has a really a good one. That was another tip from Heather. There's a titanium one. There's also a plastic one. The titanium one is it's around 20 US or something like that. It's a bit more expensive.
Okay.
Again, I wish I had pulled up this information prior, but yeah, the long handle's the way to go when you're dealing with these meals rather than getting shit all over your hands and all that. So, but yeah, Sea to Summit, they have there's a couple. Trying to look it up while we're talking. They have an aluminum one for $9.95.
Okay.
Anyways, I have to go and have a look at those. So I'll do an update on those because I've
got.
You
know what I bought? The Optimus long spoon. Check that out.
Nice.
It's 21.5 centimeters.
Wow.
For our American friends. That's almost a foot. 30 centimeters is a foot.
Jesus Christ.
2.5 centimeters in an inch. Like
wizard stick.
So yeah, I'm happy with that. I think it's the same one Garrett has actually.
Nice.
Mac has them.
I've had, so originally, so this is going way back to like first backpacking trip. Ashley and I did that Juan de Fuca trail years ago. And I had bought these cheap plastic ones from Mac. So there was spork on one side, a spoon on the other. And when we were up north, I fucking broke the thing in half. I was pissed about that.
Yeah.
Because you only bring one with you. Yeah, that's a good one. Optimus titanium long spoon. I might look at that one too. Anyways, broke that one. Then I ended up getting another plastic folding one. That was like, cool, this is lightweight, whatever. Plastic also melts when you're stirring shit. So I melted the parts off the spork, and that pissed me off. So I'm not dealing with plastic
Your
shit
spork
anymore.
is now a spoon.
Yeah. So just, I don't know. The plastic ones are always like, oh yeah, it's cheaper. It's, serves its purpose. It's the same thing. But plastic is just doesn't last. So
No.
titanium or aluminum is probably the way to go.
I always wanted to buy one of those Snow Peak double walled titanium cups, but they're like $70. Not going to do it. But I would like to have one. They're pretty cool.
Yeah.
Because the single wall, the problem with that is it burns the shit out of you.
Yeah.
Like if you don't grab the handle, you're hurting.
I agree.
And I don't know if it holds the heat that well either, but with the double walled, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure.
What else did I buy recently? Oh, I bought a Sea to Summit. I think it's the small towel.
Yeah.
But it's 16 by 30 something inches. It's pretty, like, I figure you could clean your whole, or like dry yourself off, like if you had to take a dip in a creek.
Yeah, so Mac has one, I think it's probably around the same size. They call it their hand towel, but it's plenty big enough. It's quite large. It's probably like half the size of a beach towel kind of thing. I was looking at those too, so that's another thing I have to pick up here. I'm going to have to go and do a pretty hefty mech shopping spree here. Well, it's not that bad. Just some last minute things like the
Atmosphere is good too.
Atmosphere is great, actually. They have a lot of good deals.
Yeah.
So it seems like they have sales all the time. So I've bought a lot of stuff from both of those places. Otherwise, man, I think, so we got another cooler. We got a Yeti 110. The 200 or the 210 was just too big. So we weren't going to bring that along. We've got the 65.
The 210 was like,
just like a deep freeze, man. It's massive.
It was really hogging room in the garage.
So we've got the 65, or I think I said 110. It's a 105, which I think will be perfect. So we're going to bring both coolers. The 65 will stay behind. I think the 105 is going to come in the plane. The pilot gave us the okay to bring it with dry ice inside of it. And we also got the okay to bring bear spray on the plane, which I was kind of surprised because I've seen bear spray tied up to the outside of the wing of the plane and that. So
to be honest, I'm still cautious because apparently I don't have good luck with bear spray.
Just tell them.
You know what we could do? Like, and I already have one at Mac. They have those
the containers.
Yeah. They're only like $5. I think it's well worth it.
Maybe he has them though. That's the thing.
Yeah, maybe.
Because I don't know.
I'm gonna bring mine in the truck anyway.
Not a bad idea.
I don't know. I actually like having them because I can store my bear spray in the house. I don't ever have to worry about it, right? Like I don't have to worry about Norris getting into it. I don't have to worry about it falling off a shelf or whatever. It's just yeah. Anyways, bear spray, not the best of luck for me.
No, we don't need that going off in the plane.
No.
Yeah, so we're bringing that cooler in. We're just going to leave it at the lake. It just helps if like we see something on within the first say 5 days. It's like, ooh, it's if we're having hot weather, it's like, oh shit, I don't know. That should just. I don't want to be thinking about that. Lots of guys said it'll be okay, but it really depends, man. If we're in open terrain, there's not much shade and cool areas to hang meat. I don't want to risk ruin it, and we've got enough weight allowance in the plane to bring a cooler with dry ice in it. So we've heard guys that have done that. Connor's done that before. So we're gonna bring that one cooler with us. The 65 will stay behind, and if we need to put meat in that too on the way home, then we're covered and we don't have to worry about it. So that is comforting. And the other thing we got confirmed is that we're all set to fly into the lake that we want to go. So that's nice to know. And we've got the first flight out, which I think he said probably around 8:30, depending if the weather's good and that. So
the flight out is in to go
in.
Yeah. Cool.
We've got a bit of I guess he wants us to come and meet him the day before we fly out. So he'll give us a bit of an overview. I don't know what's involved with that, but that'll be kind of fun.
Man, the whole thing's just going to be a amazing adventure.
Oh man, I'm so excited.
I keep telling myself like there's a possibility that, there's a possibility we might not get a sheep.
Yeah.
And that's always a possibility, but like everything else is just so worth it. Like Even if we don't get a sheep, it's still worth it. Having said that, we definitely want to be in a position where we're doing everything we can to put ourselves in a position to get one.
Yeah.
Like if we're leaving without one, I want to know we've done everything we possibly could.
We put in 110%. Yeah. Which there's no doubt in my mind that we will. So,
but if that even happens, I'm still going to be stoked that we ever got to do this.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
I agree. I think it'll be the first of many.
Yeah.
Anyways. So yeah, man, that's where we're at. We're not going to do the marathon drive up there. We've booked a hotel, probably 2/3 of the way up, I guess, roughly. Maybe not that much. I don't know.
Yeah.
So the second day is only 8-hour drive. I think it's a little less than 8 hours, actually.
For us.
What's that?
For us. Oh, the second day, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Thought you meant the first day.
Oh,
Garrett's got a few more hours.
He's got an extra 3.5 or so.
8 hours for us on the second day.
Yeah, so we can leave fairly early from the hotel and be up there at a reasonable time, go meet the pilot and have a good dinner and chill out, man.
And then I think we should just play it by ear on the way back. Like if we think we can make it the whole way, then fine. And if not, like between three guys, $100 for a motel is like nothing. So
yeah,
no point going if we can't
you
manage
know when you're too tired. That's just, it's not worth it.
And I remember some of those points last time.
Did we ever talk about the drunk driver that we were following?
Oh yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
That was I was driving.
This was in what's that place outside of Kamloops?
Savannah.
Yeah, that's right. I was gonna say Sorrento, but that's like Shuswap.
Yeah. I don't think we ever talked about this, but it was probably, oh man, it was after midnight, I believe, if I remember correctly. And we came up behind this car that was like, this guy must have been like nodding off because he kept like almost going to the ditch. He was swerving into oncoming traffic. Luckily, there wasn't very many cars on the road, but anytime we'd see a car coming, because we were following this guy, we would just start flicking the lights just to let them know that this guy's all over the place. And finally, I think we were like put the hazards on and I was flicking the high beams at him to like hopefully scare him into thinking we were a cop or something like that. Yeah. And he eventually pulled over. We pulled up next to him, and that dude was just like out of it and freaked us out. So we just called it in and that. But that was terrifying, man. My heart was just racing the whole time we were watching that situation go down. Yeah,
I remember calling it in, but I also remember, was it you or Garrett driving?
I was driving.
Yeah, and we pulled up right beside him because he actually pulled over.
He did, yeah.
And then we pulled up beside him, and I was like, I don't know if we should be 2 feet away from this guy's window. Like,
super
I don't
sketchy,
know,
man. Yeah,
what he's gonna do. So he
stayed pulled over.
But
yeah, we had already called it in, and he had stayed on this side of the road, which was good. But yeah, you never know the kind of shit you run into at the middle of the night like that, man. It's intense. Anyways, I don't know how we got on that topic, but
you know, the other thing from the last time we went up there, I found it kind of cool that I think it was Cornell, where the CEOs had all those people pulled over. Like
when we came
it's
back.
A funnel.
Yeah.
From the North Country back down to the interior BC, there's a funnel through Cornell. And I think it's awesome that they can set up checks at that location. And I'm sure they switch it every year, but still.
But yeah, so we're coming from the west. If you're coming from the east, everything kind of meets in Prince George, and then everybody's coming down one main artery through Quesnel, I believe, right? And then
I think so, yeah.
You can go to the interior and to the west coast from there, but everybody has to come through that direction. So he was looking at all of our tags and laughing at us because we came back with absolutely nothing. But
yeah, I'd be happy this time if a helicopter didn't land, 100, 200 yards away from us.
Yeah, right in the middle of the trail that we're hiking out. It's not good for hunting.
And then you have to empty it. That's another reminder. Keep all the stuff you would need. If a CEO was to pop out of the bush, keep all that stuff in the lid of your pack.
Yeah. I had all my tags and all that kind of stuff. All that stuff was super handy.
Yeah.
But my wallet was in the bottom of my pack. So I had to fucking rip everything out of my pack and find my wallet because he just needed my ID. But that was a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I remember.
Lesson learned.
Yeah.
What else you got, Kelly?
Well, I'm planning to have a barbecue this weekend. You're invited.
Yep.
And Ash and Oscar. But I'm planning to smoke a pig roast. You cut it all up. This is the pig that we bought.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, it's as far as like brining it,
Yeah.
And then cook times. What are you thinking? Have you done a bigger ham or roast in the smoker?
Yeah, I've done, actually, I did 2 hams at Easter. One of them I just did in the oven, and the other one I did in the smoker. It's around the same temperature because we had
Mm.
just a huge Easter dinner or whatever the hell it was, Thanksgiving or something. I don't know. Anyways, I brine the hams. I can't remember the time, but there seems to be some discrepancies in the amount of time to brine a ham, but you can do it for like 12 hours. Some people I was reading do it for like multiple days. I think I actually did mine for multiple days. You run the risk of making it too salty the longer
Mm.
you leave it. But basically, with the brine, you get a huge batch of water going in the pot. You melt all your salt and sugar and everything, and you can add all of your herbs and spices and everything you want. You can do rosemary, through like full lemons in there, a whole whack of those. What are those delicious seeds that we've used in sausages many times? I always forget the name of them.
Fennel
Fennel,
seeds, yeah.
mustard seeds. Like basically, just look up a brine recipe online, get an idea of the herbs and spices and stuff that they're using, and just customize it however you want. Like if you like something or you don't like something, you can add it or remove it. Basically, it's going to be good no matter what you put in there. So do that. You can do it for 24 hours. I would put it actually in the 65, the Yeti, with a bunch of ice. So after you've boiled everything, obviously you want to let that cool down to room temperature. I would pour all that water into the Yeti, and there should be enough water so that the meat is fully submerged. That roast that you have isn't that big,
Right.
I don't think, right? So it wouldn't take a whole lot of water to cover it.
No.
And I actually throw a whole bunch of ice in there so that the meat is cool, just because I'm paranoid. I don't want it to get warm in there or anything like that. So the ice will actually stay frozen for that 24 hours or multiple days, however long you want to do it. I think for wild game, some people prefer to leave it longer. But anyways, just play with it. I don't think you can go too far wrong. You just don't want the meat to spoil and get disgusting in there. So, and again, watch your salt content because you don't want the meat to be super salty. With the smaller roast, how much do you think that weighs? The one I can't remember the cut that I gave you.
That's a good question. 2 or 3 pounds, maybe?
Yeah, so 3 or 4. I was thinking 3 or 4, but maybe it's probably around.
Yeah, 3 or 4.
It's quite a bit of meat.
2 to 4.
That'll probably take 3 to 4 hours to cook in the smoker at like. That smoker seems to go up to like 230
Are you just putting the smoker
degrees.
on? Because this is
At
a
high.
slider.
at high.
You just slide into
And
high.
it won't ever get up to like 250. It's usually around like 230.
So you're just maxing it out, letting it run.
Yeah.
And then you pushing smoker pucks through there?
So I'll do about like, what I like to do is for a half an hour, leave the smoke on, hot box the thing full of smoke and turn it off. Because you can overdo it with the smoke. And I've done that before where all you can taste is the smoke. So it's kind of a delicate balancing act. You can even like put smoke on for 15, 20 minutes and close the vent at the top of it there and just keep it smoky. Don't open the door or anything.
Yeah.
Do that right off the top. And eventually that smoke will leave the smoker, and then you're just cooking it at a low temperature for a long period of time. So you still have that good smoky taste to it, but it's not overpowering.
Right.
Because it can be a bit much sometimes.
Okay.
So
I think I'm going to try that.
And I felt like that, like I've always given myself a bigger window than I needed when I'm smoking stuff. It's not a big deal because once you feel like it's cooked, I just have a thermometer in it the whole time, keeping an eye on it. Once it hits that temperature you're going for, depending on the kind of meat you have in there, pull it out. When it's like 10 degrees, 15 degrees under, wrap it in foil, set aside. If you're like 2 hours ahead of the game, not a big deal because you can just let it rest for a while. And then you can bring it back up to temperature in the oven, 45 minutes before you plan to eat it. And it's delicious. So I'm not a chef or a professional by any means, but it's been well received anytime I've done it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Man, anything with regards to that pig has been well received.
Oh, man. How about those pork chops?
Unbelievable. Best pork chops I ever had.
Yeah.
The fat is like, I don't know. It's like, it just melts.
Yeah.
It's like butter.
It is. Yeah. Somebody was asking me about raising those pigs and stuff a couple of days ago, actually. And I was telling them like how we incorporate into the wild game that we have and how that is rewarding because you're involved in every process. Usually you have to order fat back for pork to add into your sausages, and you're not always too sure where that came from, but we actually found a good farmer in the Okanagan. We were using that for a while, but now it's nice that like every step of the equation you and I have been involved in, which is really cool. And when you have a healthy pig that's not full of antibiotics and all this disgusting shit and
Yeah.
weird, food in that, they've just been fed normal organic stuff. The fat is like pure white and it's delicious. It's unreal. Yeah.
Yeah, I just threw mine on the barbecue.
Yeah.
And
It's kind of like I left a lot of fat on those, but I find myself like I would trim it down a little bit after I would cook it, but I would eat a lot of that fat.
yeah, me too.
I'm not gonna lie, it was that good.
But kind of,
It's so much
trim
flavor.
it out a little bit, and
Yeah.
then you're staring at your empty plate with like some of these little fat bits on there, and you kind of have to take the plate away from me because
Yeah.
I'll just finish it all.
Yeah, which usually it sort of avoid the fat because you don't know what. Obviously, that's where all the toxins and stuff end up is in the fat, right? But in that
Yeah.
case, you don't really have to worry about it. It's fucking delicious.
Yeah. Cool.
So dinner Sunday at your house. What do I
Dinner
need to
on
bring?
Sunday? Beer.
Okay, deal.
Although we should bring some of these too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we're gonna be able to finish these. Oh,
You're cut off. I rode down here on my bike, so I can do another one.
yeah.
Cool, man.
Anything else on your end?
Do you want to talk about chronic wasting disease?
We'll end it on a positive note. Are you talking about Libby, Montana?
Well, Libby is to blame, yeah. So there's been those 5 confirmed cases of CWD in Libby. So last time you and I were talking about this was a couple episodes back, and we're like, what's going to be done here because it's getting close to us, and you want to get ahead of this stuff, right? So I got an email sent to me. I don't know if I'm allowed to mention names or anything like that, but I was given permission to read some of the stuff. So Forest Lands Natural Resource Operations and Rural Development is proposing mandatory submission of deer heads from management units 4-1, 4-2, 4-3, and 4-4 for the 2019 season. So we're talking British Columbia residents. So if you guys are outside of BC, I apologize, but they're working with the chief veterinary officer and legal teams from Forest Lands Natural Resource Operations and Rural Development. That's quite the name, man. Jesus, mouthful.
Mm-hmm.
And BC Agriculture develop a general order under the Animal Health Act. So things are being done, which is good to hear. So went on to say, with threat of CWD now at our southern border, the Department of Wildlife Health has reached out in Region 4 to assist in the initiative to prevent chronic wasting disease from infecting BC ungulates. With the disease already encroaching from the east border, the assistance from our northern Region 4 clubs will be instrumental. So there are 3 primary actions that they're putting forward. Number 1, increasing the number of drop-off locations in those management units, purchasing more freezers for those locations so anyone can just drop by to a freezer any time of day, I think is how that works, and probably have to leave all their information and so forth so that they can be contacted. And then number 3 is just awareness, letting people know that this is an issue. Hunters are being asked to bring deer, moose, and elk heads to drop-off locations, and they have a list of them. So if anybody is in those regions, do some further reading. And meanwhile, anyone encountering a sick deer exhibiting the symptoms of CWD, which is, they're thin, drooling, poor body condition, stumbling, should report it to the Provincial Wildlife Health Program. So don't be shy if you see something, even if you're like, I'm not sure, maybe that deer's just being weird, report it, because we don't want this shit in our province.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think we should take the better safe than sorry approach.
Yeah, exactly, man.
And I think it shouldn't, I know where Libby is, and this is the Flathead area, and that's all the regions that they're trying to hit. And I'm sure there's resources challenges around that, but I kind of feel like all the regions that are on a border should have that checkpoint.
I would agree. So nice to know that they're on it. I'd have to look at those 4 regions on a map and see how much the area that covers. But yeah, I think you're right, man.
You know what it is? It's Alberta to Kitchener, or basically almost to Creston. So
Oh.
like Creston east
Yeah.
to Alberta, all along the U.S. border.
Good start. So
Yep.
they're on it. Good to hear.
Yep. It's not a good thing.
Nope. Not at all. Anyways, man, that's all I had for this episode.
So if you lasted this long,
That's what you get.
cheers.
Cheers. This episode of Rookie Hunter was brought to you by the Wild Sheep Foundation, Sitka Gear, and North Arm Knives. As always, it is hosted by Kelly Mullner and myself, Mike Peterson. It is recorded, edited, and produced at Mountain Stream Audio Productions in beautiful Kelowna, British Columbia. Original music written by the one and only Kelly Mullner with help from Graham Ord, Darcy Booth, and Chip Sleedermean. If you want to help us out, there's one thing you can do. You can go to iTunes or wherever you get your podcast from and leave us a 5-star rating and a review. And don't forget to subscribe. For more on the show, head over to our website, therookiehunter.com.